Hey everybody, welcome to our webinar. Thanks for showing up. And Dan, thank you for being here with me. Appreciate it. Maybe we'll let people keep rolling in because it's just 11. We'll wait a minute or two. So, but where are you right now, Dan?
I'm in Vancouver, in beautiful, cloudy, rainy Vancouver.
Hey, if you guys can hear, we want to make sure this is working in the chat. Can you just write where you are, like where you're from, so we can get a sense of like where everybody's from? I'm in Mexico. I know.
Oh
I
my
don't know. I'm
gosh.
afraid to even say that because it's like, oh, you suck. So this is the first time in 20 years that I've ever done a extended work away. So I rented an Airbnb with Starlink satellite. And I'm working, but of course not in the evenings and weekends. So it's kind of and there's no snow, brother, no snow, which is amazing. And yeah,
You got to
Niagara
figure it
Falls,
out, man.
Toronto. Well, I've never done this before, so this is a first time experience. I've done like go away for a week, but usually it's like you're on vac. This is different. I'm not on. I call it a work away. It's not a vacation. I mean, I am going to do take a bit of time off, but it's mostly just work remotely from somewhere different and get into and shop with a local shop. I went to this one. There's a place not far from here. You could get a beer and a tostado. I'm not saying it right for 100 pesos. It's like 750 Canadian, and it's
Well,
like it's so crazy.
see, that's my problem. I love, in theory, I love what you're doing, and I'm envious of anyone that can make it work. But in practice, I think like in Mexico, I would just be hunting for tostadas and tequila like 24/7. I don't think I could get work done. I wouldn't be able to separate work from, full Mexico mode vacation.
Yeah, I have to because I'm here long enough. I'm here for a month, so
Yeah.
if I don't, it'll be a problem. Okay, so let's get started. Thanks, guys, for coming. I see we got people from all over the place: the big city of Abbotsford, Whitby, Unionville, Kitchener, Sudbury. Oh, so it's good you're hearing us. Uh, and then Aurora, Lake Cowichan. Okay. All right. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time to come chat with us. And so, if you guys have questions, send them to the Q&A. So we want to make sure we don't miss them. You can talk in the chat too. That's totally cool. Arthur, who works with Dan, is in. He'll monitor the chat. But if you send them in the Q&A, we'll make sure that they come at the end. And why don't you just take it away, Dan? And then me and Dan will have a discussion, but I will let him lead, and then I'm gonna ask him. I got some specific questions I'm gonna ask him as well. But we'll go for it, brother.
Perfect. Thanks, Scott. And thanks everybody for joining us today. Really appreciate your time and attention here. I'm Dan, co-founder and CEO here at Ownwell. Arthur, as Scott mentioned, is also here. He's our head of customer success. So if we have any existing customers in the room today, say hi to Arthur because he's the one that you're dealing with most of the time. And we're excited to show you the different ways that our customers are using their databases and the databases of their partners to become deal creators in this market, which we think is a really powerful frame for what they're doing. So, take you through a quick agenda here. First off, what we'll go through today. We're going to talk about what we've learned in the past year and a half of being in business from our customers and their clients. We've had about 100,000 reports go out to homeowners, and we've learned some interesting things along the way that I think you'll benefit from, regardless if you use our product or not. We're going to take you through a quick demo. Promise it won't be long, and we're going to also share something that I think our existing customers will really appreciate about the biggest upgrade we've made to our product to date. And then we're going to go through the deal creation playbooks that we've learned from our customers that you can implement tomorrow. Can I just get a quick pulse check on how many customers we have in the room right now? Just maybe type yes in the chat if you're already using Ownwell. And then Arthur, make sure to say hi to these folks.
Yeah.
And if you haven't met Arthur before, you may have worked with Julie previously. Julie recently went on mat leave; she just had a baby, and so Arthur's stepping in while she's away.
Yeah.
Okay,
A
great,
bunch of people that are using are looks like own well folks.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So, speaking of these different playbooks, I want to start off with a little bit of a story here that really blew me away. Justin Foulis, who I met at Broker Talks, actually, he shared this message in a group chat maybe about a month ago, and a friend who was in that chat shared this with me. And when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to talk to Justin because I can see his Ownwell account, and he's saying he's gotten 20 refis, but I can see that he only had 50 clients in his Ownwell account. So I'm like, hey, that those numbers are crazy. I need to find out what this guy's
Yeah,
doing."
like what's the scoop there?
Those numbers don't add up, or you've got some kind of magical power that I'm not aware of. Well, he does. I mean, he's a really strong guy. I don't know if you guys have seen Justin before, but he's like the guy could probably bench press like 500 pounds. Um,
Yeah,
but
I'd say he's Canada's strongest mortgage broker because he
yes,
does strongman competition. I mean, there might be someone out there, but I had not that I haven't met them that is actually probably stronger than Justin.
he's kind of like the mountain from Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
he's
Is
our
kind
version of the mountain,
yeah.
the broker mountain. Ugh.
Yeah. Yes. So I reached out to Justin. I was like, hey, like, what's going on here? Like, what did you do? And turns out that those 20 refis actually didn't come from his clients. They came from the clients of three realtors. And so I'm going to dig into exactly what he did to make that happen later on when we cover the playbooks. But just wanted to share something that one of our customers is doing that's been pretty cool to watch. So let's start off by just recapping the problems that we see brokers facing right now and we're focused on solving. So the first one, we've heard this story a lot from folks. It's like, you've gotten a client the right mortgage. They're super happy. They leave you a glowing review. You send them your newsletter, only to find out a couple years down the line that they made their next mortgage decision without you. That really sucks, and we've heard that from a lot of mortgage brokers. And so, lost repeat and referral business. That's one problem we solve. The other one is client awareness. So, frankly, most homeowners have no idea what their situation is or what's even possible. And so there's these deals that never happen. That's another problem that we're trying to solve for. And then lastly, this is the one we've probably heard the most about from brokers this year is just how frustrating the renewal wave is right now with folks putting in a lot of work only to have lenders swoop in at the last minute and offer a rate that no one can compete with. Has anyone encountered that, by the way, in the chat? Just type like yes if you've experienced that. Uh,
Or
that
type
one has come up a ton.
grr.
Yeah, type, and we can get Justin on them. Maybe he'll
Yeah.
he'll he'll come in and talk to those lenders. So those are the three problems that we're seeing now. Turns out the solution to these was actually hiding in plain sight. Looking south of the border, they've already got this figured out. There's a company called HomeBot. We talk about them all the time. It's because they've proved this model to be incredibly successful in the U.S. They've been around for about a decade, serving loan officers, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, and they have allowed these professionals to turn their databases into deal machines by sending out the right marketing. So we're doing that, but in Canada. HomeBot doesn't work in Canada. I actually talked to their CEO, and he told me they weren't coming to Canada. It was going to be too much work for not a big enough market. So they're focused on the U.S. We're focused on Canada. And what they do and what we do is they send out personalized home finance insights to one's database on behalf of the mortgage broker. And what that does is it keeps people engaged in a very relevant way to the relationship that you have with them. And month over month, they're monitoring this, they're monitoring their home, their equity, their rates, et cetera. And it helps identify new mortgage needs and opportunities before renewal. So that's like the key thing I want people to take away from here. It's all about don't try to compete with the lender, at renewal time. You want to get in there before, where you can help solve a problem or help the client take advantage of an opportunity that the bank probably doesn't even want them to know about. So that's the solution that we've built. Next thing I want to talk about is some of the maybe counterintuitive learnings that we've gleaned from being in business for the past year and a half and studying these tens of thousands of interactions between homeowners and the insights that they're engaging with. Biggest takeaway here, everyone here in the room really, we care about mortgages, right? Homeowners, they care about their home. Mortgages, let's be honest, they're kind of boring, right? Homeowners, they're not thinking about that day in and day out. They're thinking about their biggest investment and whether or not it's getting them further or closer to their ultimate goals. And that's why, and we'll show you this in the demo later, we start in the homeownership report with the home. We focus initially on that estimated home value as a hook to get them engaged.
They want to know that information, man.
They
It's
want to know.
100. It's like why we track stock prices. Like you don't care about stock prices unless you own the stock and then you pay attention to it. And it's the same thing
Exactly.
with the home value, right? And it's very much personalized versus sending them recipes and other things. Like it's their home. they pay. So which is why you and HomeBot get so much a high open rate. But yeah, keep going,
Yeah,
brother.
no, you nailed it. I mean, we've this keeps people opening it every month. The open rate on a monthly basis across all of our customers is about 66%. Some have like 80%. And again, it's just because they want to check that up market or down market. They want to know what's going on with their biggest investment. So that's the hook. Now, what's also interesting is we actually did some A/B testing on the subject lines in the emails because we're always trying to improve open rates and click rates. And we had the same email go out, but with two subtly different subject lines. One was, hey client, your November homeownership report is here. And then the other one was like, hey client name, your updated home value is here. The second one, the one with the home value, outperformed the other one like crazy. And it's such a subtle difference, but that tells us again that homeowners, they care about the home. And
Yeah.
then the second biggest thing, or no, sorry, the first most clicked on link and all the different links in the homeownership report is learn how my home value is estimated. So again, that's what clients care about. And I think to the extent that you and your marketing can speak to them about their identity as a homeowner and their home and their home ownership journey, that's where you can really appeal to their emotion and and actually get them engaged. The other interesting takeaway from looking at all these stats was the next biggest source of engagement after the home was equity. And we noticed that. So we actually built in a little visual interactive home equity calculation that showed clients how their home equity number actually, like what it comes from. Right. So your estimated home value, your mortgage balance, that's your equity. And the amount of time spent reading the report every month went from about 42 seconds to a minute. And it stayed that way after we introduced that little calculator. What we heard from mortgage brokers was that their client not only had no idea what their equity was, but in many cases, the client didn't even know what the term meant until they learned about it. And so that tells us that there might be a big blind spot around equity right now. And that's useful for you to know because if your client doesn't know what their equity is or what they could do with it, there's all these potential opportunities that they're leaving on the table. Like they might have an opportunity to move up that next step up in housing and they're not taking advantage of it. Or they might be able to buy a rental property, but they don't know about it. There's all these potential deals. So that's why I say that the biggest takeaway from all this after the whole home versus mortgage thing is the biggest competitor, client awareness. That's what I
Mhm.
think mortgage brokers' biggest competitor is right now. They don't know what their situation is, and so therefore they don't know when to act or even what's possible.
Yeah. I think I
Now,
told you this. I told you the quick story I'll tell here for anyone that doesn't know this, but I told you about how ended up getting a new truck, right?
yeah,
So I got an email from my this because they call me all the time. Scott, do you want to change your? It was a 2021, and I ignore them. And then I get an email saying, "Hey, you can get the 2025, and your payment will change." Because I have a payment because I don't want to pay it off, and then your payment will change by like $80 a month. And I was like, done. And it was like the brand new, fully loaded. And so I called them up. I said, hey, I just got this email that says here, they knew because they knew my loan, they knew my truck, they knew what I had. And that was the thing that got me. And went in, walked, it was the easiest sale they ever made. I walked in there, walked back out with a truck in like a day. Not even a day. I was like, it was done. And it was because it was custom. I ignored everything else, but it was custom to me because they knew my information. And when I saw that, this was happened to me last year and it just it emphasized how valuable this personalized communication is when it's something that the person and cares about. And it's cool that after 100,000 reports, you're actually now able to see split test, title or subject line, split test, see where people are paying attention so that you can just make it better and more engaging. So that's pretty cool. I didn't
yeah,
know, I
no,
didn't, I didn't know that actually. So
yeah, it's we're surprised all the time by some of the things that we're learning and hearing from customers and their clients. I love that truck story. It's a perfect analogy. Well, speaking of the experience that we've had over the past year, it hasn't all been rainbows. There's definitely been some challenges. So, the things that were most challenging for us that were a little bit unexpected. One was consistency of accuracy of those home value estimates across markets. That's definitely been a challenge. It's a difficult thing to get right. The second thing is we've been surprised at just how disorganized most realtors' databases are. And so we found when our mortgage broker customers pitch them on Ownwell, they get all excited, the realtor's all in, but then they struggle a bit to get their data together into a way that we can easily add it to them for Ownwell. So those have been a couple of the challenges that stand out. And that's what we've been focused on solving for the past number of months. And so we're quite excited to share an update that I know our existing customers will be happy about, which is we've just this week replaced our existing provider of home value estimates with two premium providers. They are two of the largest in Canada. They work with the largest institutions. And that's going to do for you is it's going to create sharper, more consistently accurate estimates. And that's going to, we think, lead to better client conversations, but also it's going to make it much easier for you and your realtor partners to get client information into Ownwell, because in most cases, we're no longer going to require, a bunch of subject property data for an estimate. We'll just require an address. So we're pretty excited about what that's going to do, both for your client conversations, but also for adopting these realtor partner databases. Yeah,
that's good.
So let's do a quick demo now. I'm going to keep it short, but I just want to show for everyone that hasn't seen Ownwell before how these reports generate such high engagement, and then we'll start to get into the playbooks that our existing customers are using.
Any questions you guys have, send to the Q&A, so we make sure.
Absolutely.
See if someone already coming in, make sure send them in. We would love to, as many questions as you guys got. Dan will answer them.
No, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So to set up this demo, I want to create a little bit of a scenario here. So meet our homeowner, our client, Haley homeowner. She bought her home 2 years ago, so late 2023, when rates were high, and life's been busy for her ever since. She's not thinking about her renewal. It's still years away. And she and her partner have had their first baby, so they're busy. Her inbox is full. She's getting bombarded with, lots of emails. Her mortgage is not top of mind for her right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this little scenario in Ownwell just to show you what she would receive from her mortgage professional. And I'm going to enter this manually into Ownwell, and I just want to mention that that's not how most of our customers use Ownwell. They just import all of their client data in bulk. That's something that Arthur helps you with, or they connect their Velocity or Finmo account, and we just automatically pull in all the deal data. But I'm going to set up this one specific scenario by hand here. So give her a nice catchy name, Haley homeowner. And I'll type in some contact info here. By the way, this manual add feature is popular, not for getting your database of clients into the system, but if you want to do like a demo to a referral partner, for example, it's a great way to add them to the system really quickly and show them what their report could look like. And it's also valuable, if you want to send out something in your newsletter about Ownwell and you want to create a nice little favorable scenario that you can use to show clients in your email what they could be missing out on. Okay, so we're going to pick a property in BC here, my neck of the woods. Okay, this one's out in Tawasin, I think. And make sure I got this postal code right. Okay, and for that mortgage, we're going to pick one from a couple years ago with like a 5-year fixed from TD. So I got something like 5.94. I'll make that fixed monthly. Okay, 5 years, great. And say that closed this month a couple years ago. So 2023, November 17th, let's say, and we'll make that TD. And that was a purchase. All right, so this is just creating Haley's file in the background here. We're going to boot up her report in a minute, and we're going to quickly walk through it together, so we can show you what.
So this is just one way to get a client into. Well, that's loading. One way to get a client in there. There's, like you said,
exactly.
You also talk with the submission platforms to pull data as well, right?
Exactly. So when you sign up, if you're using a submission platform or a CRM, we either pull in all that automatically when you set up your account, or if you have data in like an Excel or CSV file, we import for that for you in bulk. So this all happens in seconds for your whole database. Mm-hmm. So this is what clients get. So we'll walk through Haley's scenario here. This is what's generating that engagement each month. So what's happened here? Yeah.
Did you intend to make it $80,000 mortgage, or did you want to make it $800,000?
Oh,
Because I
good
mean,
catch,
80 is
Scott.
like I'm like that, they're like, who's this person with an $80,000 mortgage? And shame on them. I'm just kidding. It
Well,
like to make the math look, I think it's very rare that you're going to see somebody that works with a mortgage broker. I mean, yes, they exist, just like 900 credit scores exist, but $80,000 mortgages are few and far between unless you have a
yeah.
really mature database.
Well, thanks for the catch there, Scott. Yeah, you set up my demo perfectly because I was showing you how clients can
Is
actually update this info themselves.
mm,
So we just, all I did here was add that 0 to the 80. We allow clients to update the mortgage, update their home value, stuff like that. Again, to create that engagement, but also we know your database isn't necessarily, perfect down to the decimal point. That's fine. We manage all those expectations in the report, and clients can always update things themselves. So yes, this is what Haley gets, right. This has all happened automatically for her. The system has analyzed the home, the mortgage, and produced this beautiful report. So she's getting this from you. It's, I'm pretending to be you here as the mortgage professional. And the first thing that she sees is, okay, great. This is personalized to her and her home. Okay, right. This is relevant. She sees your face, your profile, how to get in touch with you. That's good. That's, building that trust and letting her know that she can ask you questions about what she's seeing here. Then going back to our learnings about what's most engaging for homeowners, we start with the home value. Again, we found that to be the most consistently engaging way to get people to think about their mortgage situation. So this is interesting that Haley can check this out. She can see actually 5 years of data here. This is something that we've added as part of our recent update. We've got all this historical data. Previously, we didn't have all these data points. And then she keeps scrolling. Okay, cool. Here's that little equity calculation that I mentioned earlier that gets so much engagement. They can play around with that, change the numbers.
I
So
have a
now she
question for
knows
you,
that.
Dan.
Yeah,
Based on your data, how often does somebody go in and adjust the mortgage that you've seen? Is that
right.
like, is it
It,
something you guys actually tracked?
it is. It is. It's in the 5 to 10% range. And
Okay. So
I think that's actually it's a really good point, Scott, because one thing that we, sometimes we hear as a concern from prospects is, oh, like, am I going to have to go through and completely update my database and check everything's correct before starting? And the answer is no, because clients can, when they get their report for the first time, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a little alert in the bottom corner there that said, hey, we've come up with these estimates based on your old mortgage application. That might be out of date. Things may have changed. You can
that's what I noticed the 80,000 actually when I was like, it's
perfect.
80. And then
Yeah.
that's why it made me bring it up. But
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, in that 5 to 10% range, it tells us that most of the time, what people are seeing matches their expectations, and then if they want to tweak it because they've made a change since then they can. But here's the takeaway for Haley. It's like, oh my God, I might be able to save 22 grand right now if I were to refi. So what we've done is automatically estimated for her not only the penalties if she were to break, but using our direct feed into Lender Spotlight, what that new mortgage would cost over the same period of time as the remainder of her term. And we're able to show her this savings. And so that's getting a lot of people to act right now. And this is something that wasn't even on Haley's mind because she's only a couple years into this mortgage and she's a busy person. She's not tracking rates every day like like the folks in this room are.
yeah,
Now you might be saying, okay, well, that's great, but not all my clients got a 5 year fixed in late 2023. That's actually the point, and that's why we've got these other insights here, not just about savings. We're showing them the buying power. This gets people thinking about their possible next steps, right? And people love to dream about real estate and home ownership, so that starts them thinking along that line of thinking. Um, Going back to home equity, we're showing them how much of that equity they could actually take out right now if they were to refinance. Again, trying to identify these refi opportunities that are disconnected from the renewal cycle. And then we show them where they're on their mortgage, and if they're coming up for renewal, we get them to book a meeting with you early so that they can start planning. So that's what the reports look like, and that's how it's personalized to that client and their situation. And you can imagine how these different insights can catch someone at the right place at the right time, and get them to reach out.
yeah. What I like about this, Dan, is that this is in the mid-cycle essentially instead of the end of a term, waiting to look at. There's opportunities for discussions around what to do with their home equity, whether it's a refi, equity takeout. whatever, maybe like sell and buy, but you're at the forefront of this, and you're not having to be doing the fight with the lender at the renewal, which you're going to lose most of the time,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah, that's good.
And it's been interesting to see that a lot of the deals that have come out of this actually haven't necessarily come from a tangible opportunity like saving. So, we get stories all the time from mortgage brokers whose clients say something to them like, "Hey, I'm so glad you sent me to that report. It got me thinking about X, Y, Z. It got me thinking about the fact that we're going to need more space soon because we just had a kid." And that's not something that's covered in here necessarily, but because it's so relevant to them, it
Yeah,
starts creating those light bulb moments.
yeah.
So that's a quick demo. And now what I want to do is I want to jump back to the deck and just share with you how some of our customers have been experiencing success with this in different ways. And hopefully you can take these playbooks and start thinking about how you can use
Run
them in
them.
your
Yeah.
business. So we've got 3 customers here. They've each had tremendous success, but in a different way. So I'm going to start with Jeff. And oh, by the way, all these 3 folks are in different markets too, which makes it kind of interesting. So Jeff's in Alberta, and his focus in using the product has just been on getting all of his clients into the system and receiving these reports as quickly as possible, and just actively engaging with the conversations that have come from him. So he had a database of 175 clients from the past 5 years. He added them all to Ownwell about a year ago. And in a year, he's gotten 25 deals, which is pretty wild ROI. The product cost him what, almost maybe 2 grand, and he's gotten well over 100K in commission from this. So that's what's possible. Now, what he did that I think is sets him apart is he really used questions about the home values in particular to generate conversations out to realtor partners that have then not only helped his clients and helped generate value for those partners, but ultimately led to a new transaction. So one story I like to share that Jeff shared with us, and it was actually how he got his first deal from the system, was a client responded to the report and said, "Jeff, is this home value correct? Like, can I actually, can I actually sell it for this much?" And Jeff didn't know, so he connected him with a realtor partner, which is a theme that we see amongst our most successful customers because they want to generate those conversations out. Um, he got them in touch with a realtor. The realtor then was able to tell Jeff, based on a comparative market analysis, yes, you can sell it for this price. Jeff's client jumped on it and sold. Why? Turns out that a couple years back, this particular client had gone through a divorce, and he couldn't afford to live near the kids at the time. He had to move about 40 minutes away because that's all he could afford. And so fast forward a couple years, Jeff's client receives this report from him, finding out that because equity had gone up in his property and rates had gone down, he could now afford to live in a new townhouse just a couple minutes away from the family. So he jumped on it, and we see lots of stories like this all the time. So I think the takeaway from Jeff is the reaction, like the engagement, is real. Get all your clients in there, and then focus on those conversations and use these questions about values as a way to generate conversations for realtors, and then understand what's going on in the clients' lives that you might be able to help them with. That's Jeff. Amanda, she's out of Ontario. She started with a smaller database known well. She had added 75 clients. She got over 10 refis in 6 months. Now she took a bit of a different approach. So about half of her deals came from people asking questions about her reports, but the other half came from her actually following up with clients that she saw had a tangible opportunity to save. And I'm going to jump right back to the demo quickly to show you what I mean by that. So, you saw the report earlier, but this is now the broker dashboard. And I want you to notice that up here, you can click on these different filters to see, hey, where are the potential deals in my database right now? So she clicked on the savings potential one. And as you can see over here in this little column, we're showing you, what the potential savings is for each client. She used this as a way to check in with these clients, who might not have seen their report yet, or might not have really understood that, what saving 40K in interest might mean. She followed up with them, and that's where the other half of her deals came from. So You get not only this way to engage your clients automatically with your reports, but you also get this intelligence layer in your dashboard that you can use to find where's the ROI right now.
Yeah, that's
Then
cool.
back to Justin. So Justin's the guy from the beginning of the presentation that shared that crazy story. What the heck did Justin do to get all those deals from realtors? His story blew me away. So what he did, he went out and pitched three different realtor teams, and the pitch went something like this. It's like, hey, um, I want you to see this system that I'm using to create value for my clients. Look at these open rates. Look how, this client can save money. This client's learning that he can, trade up. Isn't that awesome? Wouldn't you love to be able to offer that gift to your clients? By the way, that's something that I do for all of my partners that I work with. I actually invest in their business. I pay for the system for them on their behalf, and it keeps their clients engaged and helps you serve your clients better, and ultimately helps you retain more clients. And the realtors responded really well to it. They had not had in recent memory a mortgage broker come to them and start by offering something of value that they weren't able to get on their own. He didn't ask for anything. He just said, hey, I'd love to invest in your business. And so the reaction was great, but okay, still, I haven't told you how he actually got those deals. So what he did next, and this is something I think anyone can implement, what he did is he created a really favorable mortgage scenario, just like I did with that Haley homeowner example. So he picked someone from 2023 with a high rate.
Oh, I think
And
I know where this is. I don't even know the answer to this story. I think I know where you're going. This is
yeah,
freaking genius. Keep
it's
going.
so genius. And what he
Yeah.
did is he created a very simple email template with screenshots of that report, just screenshots. Like this is the kind of thing where like I overcomplicate things. I'm like, oh no, like that'll look a bit too messy or something. It's not
Oh my
perfect. Like,
God.
you know what?
This is
And,
genius.
and Justin's like, hey, send this out to your clients saying this system is coming. And this is the kind of insight that you're going to get from it as my client. You're going to learn, for example, if you might be overpaying on your mortgage right now. And he included a screenshot of something saying like you could save 40 grand, which is totally possible, right?
Hmm.
And so the realtors, they sent that email out, same email, sent them out to their database, and they got a bunch of responses. And now keep in mind, they hadn't even
They don't even
signed up for
have
Ownwell yet. They don't
their,
even have
yeah,
an
they're even
account.
on Oma. Yeah, yeah.
No,
Like, oh my
Justin
God.
hadn't gotten their database. And then what
Yeah.
happened is they get all this inbound interest and like, oh, okay, like what do I do with this? Oh, right, that guy who is telling me they're going to pay for this for my clients. Like, wow, like he really stands out in my mind because he offered me value without asking for anything. I'm just going to refer all these over to him. So that's how Justin got those 20 deals,
Mm.
all just referrals from an email being sent out with a
That they
screenshot.
sent. They didn't even. Oh, that's
That's
so
right.
crazy. You know,
So I was
one thing
like,
I'll
this is
say
awesome.
is that Justin, I don't know if you've seen him recently. He is way bigger in today. If he's on this call or if I next time I see him, like, dude, get an updated headshot because you are way thicker than you were in that photo, buddy. Like, anyway,
Well, I almost didn't recognize him. I went on LinkedIn last night. I was like, oh, I need a photo of Justin. And then, yeah, this must be from a few years back before the
dude,
beard.
he is like, yeah, before the beard and like 50 pounds of muscle, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, in recap, Jeff focused on conversations with existing clients and having conversations around home values, leveraging that to refer people out to realtors. Amanda, doing a bit more of a proactive approach by following up with those opportunities that are automatically identified for you and Ownwell. And then Justin taking that to the next level and taking this out to partners offering to invest in their client databases. So a couple ways that you might use this. So coming up to the end now, I want to cover what these three and all the other customers of ours that we've learned from are doing a little bit differently that I think you can benefit from. This came from us doing an analysis of a big survey that we did of our customers, and then actually like analyzing their accounts and coming up with what's in common with all of them. First thing that we noticed as a big theme was maximizing for the number of homeowners receiving this information. That might sound obvious. The more people receive this, the greater number are going to recognize some kind of a need or an opportunity. But where the rubber hits the road is a lot of brokers, I think, kind of naturally feel the desire to cherry pick. They might think, oh, this person should receive this now, not this person. This person, they don't have any opportunities. It's not not worth adding to the system. We've found, though, that it's really impossible to predict who's going to have that need and when. It's often
Hmm.
not the person that has a great situation. It's often the person who actually is in a crappy situation. But you can help them. And so, not cherry picking, not trying to predict, just focusing on the maximum number, keeping it simple. That's one theme. Second theme is the desire for conversations, all conversations, even tough ones. Another thing we saw from some customers is the I guess natural desire not to want to share bad news. And look, like, the market's been crappy over the past couple of years. There might be some bad news in there, right? But our most successful
My
customers
property
welcomed
value
it.
went down.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I mean, and it's
Yeah,
same with your stock portfolio. It goes up, it goes down, unless you're being forced to sell. It doesn't matter in the short term, right? And so that's
yeah.
something that has allowed actually our customers to create trust and add value is having those conversations and either finding out, okay, actually, this person is in a bit of a bind here. Let me help them. Or I can educate them on the fact that, look, the market fluctuates and, what are your plans for the next couple of years? Oh, they're to stay put. Okay, that's good for me to know anyway. Let me, set a reminder to follow up with you in 6 months or so to see if that's still true. But hey, this isn't a problem. You don't have to worry about it. And they're also not overly concerned with everything being precise down to the basis point or the dollar, because again, they recognize that this is a conversation starter. They want the convo. They can do the precise calcs later on once they discover if that client is actually interested in making a change. Last theme that we've seen really boost results for folks is integrating it into their entire business. So what I mean by that is talking about it in your other marketing. So mentioning it in your newsletter, adding it to your social media, showing clients on social media that this is something that they get when they work with you that they're not going to get from their bank. And also using it as a reason to check in. So I know actually, Denise, one of the things that she does in her business is she takes this a step further, and they actually have someone call everybody to check in and see if they've understood what's in their report and if they have any updates in their income or things like that. And it's those conversations again that are revealing new needs
Creating
and
deals.
opportunities and creating deals.
Yeah.
So that's the three things that are top earners are doing differently. Going to land the plane here soon. Second last slide. Why the time is right now to engage your database like this. Well, this whole renewal wave, it's peaking mid next year. And one of the messages that I hope you've taken from this is that you want to get in there early before the lender is calling them every day. So now is the time. And then also, if you want to do things like Justin did with partners, early new year, realtors are typically a bit less busy. It's not the spring season yet. And so that could be an ideal time to take this out, showcase the results that you've gotten to those partners or prospective partners, get them bought in, do what Justin did, and then get them onto Ownwell.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the time is now. And for everyone that attended today, we've got an offer for you to help you hit the ground running for the new year. If you sign up for an annual plan before Friday at midnight with code ILMB, you're going to get the onboarding fee waived. So we've got a one-time setup fee of $200 that pays for Arthur basically, and we'll
Arthur's
pay him through
working
some
for
other
free
means.
this month.
Yeah, yeah.
He's working for
But
pizza and beer. I'm just kidding, Arthur.
yes. No, we'll have to get creative. But yeah, save $200 basically. We'll make sure we get you meet with you and go through that onboarding ASAP so that you can hit the ground running before you head off on the holidays. And we'll also go through a strategy session with you where we'll kind of show you, some of the tips and tricks that we've talked about today, some of those best practices you can use to really get the most out of this system and, get the most out of your database in the new year. So do it before Friday. You've got about 72 hours. And don't forget that code ILMB. We'll send out something after just to remind you guys of that, but you can do this on our website, ownwell.ca. There's a pricing tab. You click that, you sign up, and then when you enter your credit card, you can enter that ILMB code. So that about wraps it up for the presentation, but I think we've got some time here left for
Maybe
Q&A.
put a
How much
link in
time
the
we got,
chat.
Scott?
We got a few minutes. There's a bunch of questions that came in, and I see Arthur's been messaging folks, but I want to make sure that people also get them answered and if they haven't seen them. But if you can put a link to that
You
where
bet.
people can go check it out in the chat, Arthur,
Yep.
that'd be great. So let me go to the questions. Can I get a copy of the presentation? Yeah, I can answer that one. We're going to send it out after this. Are you guys offering Ownwell in French as of now?
Oh, good question. Not yet. It's on our to-do list for early in the new year.
Okay. What Terry asked, I hope this is going to use your name's on here. Available in all provinces. Where do the property values originate from? Tax
My favorite
assessments.
question. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where do the property always come? Okay, so we're under NDA with these data partners, but what I can tell you is they're two of the biggest in Canada. They work with like the largest lenders in Canada, and you would recognize their names. And the way, like where they get their data, they're getting it from, verified sales data in that region, market trends, et cetera, et cetera. So we're paying for that data from these trusted sources.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. Next question. Um, what steps on Finmo do you have to do so the transfer of clients versus Jordy Brown? Hey, Jordy, long time no chat. What steps on the Finmo do you have to make the transfer smooth?
Yeah, I mean, Finmo is a breeze. You sign up, you enter your Finmo API key, and then it just automatically pulls in all the funded deals from your Finmo account. Now, by the way, if you are sharing a Finmo account with others, um, you'll want to go through our onboarding first before you do that because you don't want to pull in someone else's deals. And there's a little trick to do that. So just an FYI.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a no-no. They'd be like, I mean, you may make your friends mad at you. Steve asks, is it possible to add RENS to get realtor value property to RENLS? I think he must mean to get property values. Example, cottage per view, estimated extensive renos. Realtor says 1.2. Anyway, you can adjust the value rather than, yeah, you can, it looks like,
Yeah,
okay, it's basically, can you adjust the value, which you just showed that you can
you,
do. Yeah.
you can totally override it. Clients can do it as well. You can do it. Realtors can do it. Yeah.
Can you interface directly with a CRM such as Zoho? There are 17 questions, so this is great that you guys
Good.
have lots
Yeah,
of
no,
questions. Yeah.
this is good stuff. So for Zoho, you do an export, and Arthur's got can explain how that works when you do your onboarding with him. But basically, you just generate an export from Zoho, then we import that in bulk via CSV. So super easy.
Yeah. Debbie's asked, if you got a realtor's database and they upload it, how do we cover the privacy and consent requirements? Maybe I'm ahead of myself.
Yeah, it's a good question. And so the way that we've solved for that is the realtor's account is actually completely separate to yours. So you invite them, you're paying for their account because that's the whole concept is you want to, create this no-brainer offer for them. But the realtor has their own account. It's separate from yours. Their client data doesn't become, visible in your account by default. And so then that way the realtor has full control over their data. But you're wondering, well, okay, well, how does this, turn
What,
into
yeah,
new
what's the,
deals for
why
me?
would I do that as a mortgage
Yeah,
broker? Yeah.
exactly. In the report that goes out to a realtor's clients, you are co-branded alongside the realtor. So it's coming from the realtor, but you're pictured next to them with all your contact info. And then as the client adds their mortgage information, they have to opt into our privacy policy, which then allows them to have that information shared with you. And if the client has a question about anything they see in the mortgages, those notifications automatically go to you. So that's how it works on the realtor side.
But what I love about these questions is that people are asking these so stick around because there's probably questions you didn't think that someone else asked. And you're like, oh, and I thought you did a pretty, good job of explaining it. But Ali asks, the equity number, is it based on 80% from that
Well,
potential equity?
the
In the
equity.
report. In
Oh,
the
yes, it
report, yeah.
is. That's
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Deb asked, from my understanding, the reports sent out monthly. Is there an option to have them go quarterly instead? Or will this be an option in the future?
That one's a hard no, actually, and the reason was we studied what HomeBot did. We talked to them. We actually did some. They did some consulting with us early on. Monthly across the board was the highest engagement lever.
They'll forget
So
what it is. They'll forget what it is, man. If it gets too far apart, they won't even be like,
yeah,
what is this? It's spam. And they won't like you. It needs to be a consistent, and things change too with over, quick, it can change quickly. So I think it's worth for sure monthly.
yeah, a lot
Um,
can happen in 4 months. It's true.
will you allow for co-borrowers, husband and wife, to receive the same report?
100%. That's actually next up on our roadmap. We're going to be working on that in December, and that should be live early in the new year.
Right. Does Ownwell make a good CRM if you don't have an existing one?
Good question. I think I consider them as quite different. The way I think about a CRM is you want to have one source of truth for all of your leads and clients. Like you want to be able to track things like from lead through to close and stuff like that. That's not stuff that's happening in Ownwell. What you can think about what we're doing is for everything that happens after they're a customer, yes, use us for that. But ultimately, I think you should be using a simple CRM and us together.
Uh, okay. Yeah, that's good. Where do you pull comparative rates from? Jordy asks.
We pull them in from Lender Spotlight. Every day they get refreshed. And by the way, customers, clients, homeowners, they will never see a rate in the report, and that's on purpose. Those rates are only used to power those estimates. And so that way, you don't have to be too worried about, okay, is this, this lender's rate or that lender's rate? You'll always
Right.
be able to see that on your side, though, in your dashboard, you'll be able to see which rate was used for this particular refi, for example.
Right. But your rates you may end up having some better options than what you can pull out Lender Spotlight
Totally.
anyway, based on,
Hmm.
what kind of deals you have with the lenders and whisper specials and all these things that they shall not speak of.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any to the adopt your mortgage to roll out to financial planners? I think it's currently just realtors.
Yeah, we haven't done anything specifically for financial planners yet. Admittedly, we just don't know. We don't know that market well enough yet. We see no reason why it couldn't be used for financial planners. We do definitely have some customers who have partnered with financial planners, and so I don't see why not. But I also don't know that profile as well. I do realtors.
Right. How do you keep track of which deal is referred by which realtors so that you can send the business back to them?
Yeah, it automatically happens. So if someone is if a realtor's client is engaging about mortgages, they show up as referred by that realtor. And if you want to as well for your own database, you can tag a referral partner if you care to on each of your files, and then that way it's co-branded with them alongside you. If you want to create a bit more value or show your partners how you're creating value for them, you can do that.
Dan asked a question. Adopting a realtor database. I have an enterprise client with 3,500 past clients. That's awesome.
That is
They're
awesome.
interested, but if I commit to the partnership, it's 21K. If I invest into their business, what assurances do I have they simply don't walk and join directly with Ownwell, leaving me out of that investment?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing I would say, I wouldn't start with, paying for all that up front. I'd do a test with them. Start with a smaller subset of their database, and there's no way for them to like um, kind of break up with you and pay us directly. That's just not something that they're able to do right now. So that shouldn't be a concern. But in terms of just like seeing how that partnership goes, I would
Start out
just
with a
maybe start with a
sample
smaller
app.
commitment.
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually smart. Plus, it's less money, and then you can get a ROI on it, and
Yeah.
and then make sure that it's working. Uh, Brooke asks, is there a landing page included in the account?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the shout on that. Yes. If you're on our annual plan, you do get a customizable landing page that you can use to generate leads. What is cool about that is you're now able to allow any homeowner, not just your clients, to get your report, to get these insights. A couple of ways that creative ways we've seen brokers use this. One is sending an email out to their old database of leads that didn't close, and you can say something like, "Hey, I've rolled out this new benefit to my clients that they love. They're saving all this money. They're informed about their homeownership situation. I'm also now offering it to you. You include the link to their landing page. The client or the lead clicks on it. They fill in their info, and then they're now receiving this from you, and they're in your database as a lead. That's another way. Seen people advertise it on Facebook. We've seen people team up with realtors at open houses, load their landing page up onto like a iPad and have people enter their info at the open house. So those are a couple ways that you might use it.
Right. What was the next page? How does it work with variable rate clients?
Yeah. So we
Such good
track all the
questions. Jordy is
yeah.
like if there was an award for questions, Jordy would be the guy that gets the award. Best
Jordy's
questions. This
bringing
is
the
really
heat.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. We basically we've tracked all the changes in prime over the years, and so in coming up with that outstanding balance figure, we're taking that into account with the amortization schedule. And based on the timing that the mortgage closed and the net rate that you'd have on your deal submission platform, we're able to estimate what prime would have been at the time, and therefore, what the variance was, which we then maintain throughout throughout the amortization history. So those are a couple ways that we handle the variable rates.
How does it show the send email for me? I mean, Mike is asking as a broker or from Ownwell?
From Mike, yeah, it'll be like, from Scott Peckford, and it'll be all of your contact information in the email. But it'll be like powered by Ownwell at the bottom.
Right. But it actually comes like, so the email comes from you guys, but if they hit reply, does it go to the broker?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but it actually comes from, it's sent from your servers essentially. So it's not sent
Exactly.
from, yeah. So that
And
it also, yeah,
the
go
reason for
ahead.
that, you might be wondering, hey, why is that? Well, we're always trying to make optimizations to make sure that these emails are getting delivered properly. So we kind of have to
Yeah.
control that pipeline.
If you don't control the
yeah,
send, you can't tell, you don't get the same amount of insight on the data, right?
yeah.
So, do clients fall off at renewal as their info is outdated after that?
Hey, yeah, actually, the client is prompted to update their info at renewal. So we'll say, hey, looks like your mortgage might have matured. Is this, can you update this with your latest information? And then that way you can find out, hey, like, have they, what's happened? Have they just renewed with their lender, or what? And then anytime a client does that, you're notified, and you can choose to either keep them in your account, which we always think you should do, even if they do renew with their lender. You want to be there for the long term, and so we suggest keeping them in.
Can you pull from data from Scarlet?
Not directly yet. Now, I'm not as familiar with Scarlet as I am with some of the other platforms, but I would assume that they have an export function, like the other ones do. If they do, we could just import that file. But we're also we are going to be building to the Scarlet API sometime in the next couple months. We have access to it, and we just need to build it.
Angela asks, as a brokerage owner, if I were to purchase a subscription for all my agents, would I have access to their dashboard?
Not currently, but that's something that we're going to be introducing in the new year. So what I'd suggest right now is, you could get everyone set up individually, but we would track the brokerage that they're associated with, and then in the new year, when we roll this out, we would introduce that, like, owner level visibility. That's something that we're planning on doing.
That's cool. So I may have skipped that one by accident. I came back, pulled from Scarlet. Is this program compatible with Filogix Old and Filogix Pro?
It is. Now, we don't have a direct connection into Filogix, but what you can do is do the export from Filogix, and then we can import it.
Do a bulk import. Okay.
Yep.
Gareth, hey, good to see you, buddy. If you're still here, just for clarity, the realtors clients, do we see them on the dashboard after they opt in for us? Example,
Yes.
The savings potential, or is it still separate and only under the realtor?
That's right. So if the realtor's client adds information, i.e. adds mortgage information, that's when we surface the opportunity for them to opt in. And if they do, then that information is visible in your Ownwell dashboard too.
Right. Is there additional cost to sponsor a realtor, or is it covered with your subscription?
It's all based on your subscription, but the subscription is based on the number of homeowners that are receiving this stuff. So if you want to pay for a realtor's database in addition to your own, you'll pay extra for that in the same way that you'd pay more to add more of your own clients to the system.
Right. It's just count.
It's just count. That's exactly right.
Yeah. When you invite a realtor to sign up to their account, in order to avoid what Dan's concern is there a way to sort of create a white label so the realtor can't go directly to Ownwell and make them feel more connected with their mortgage broker?
There's no way for a realtor to go direct to
They
Ownwell.
can't sign up anyway. They can't
That's
sign
right.
up. Yeah.
But now look, it's possible, and like HomeBot works directly with realtors as well. We might explore that in the future, but we're a broker first platform. That's just the way we've decided to operate, as we're focused on the broker. Frankly, we think there's more ROI for the broker in the database than there is for the realtor, and because of that, we're all optimized for brokers.
There's way more.
And I just want to alleviate any concerns. If in the future we do allow realtors to sign up, we would allow them to be partnered with a broker and get it for free, or maybe they could go directly to us, but they would have to pay full freight, and we will not allow something like what you've described to happen, where someone could just cut and run. So
and from my understanding with HomeBot, like a vast majority of their customers are mortgage loan officers, not realtors.
That's right.
Like it's a small percentage of realtors that are.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Lots of realtors are on the platform, but they're partnered up with the broker
Yeah,
loan ops.
because the broker can find way more opportunities than
That's
the
right.
realtor, right?
Yeah.
Uh, can we pull Can we pull data from Mortgage Boss?
As long as there's an export function from Mortgage Boss, we don't have a direct API into them yet. So if you can export it, we can import it.
Is there a possibility to use Zapier webhooks or service to pull and push data? API access to create custom connections. Is this part of the roadmap?
It's definitely something we plan to do. Admittedly, probably not within the next few months, but likely sometime next year.
Okay. Are there any castle concerns that we need to think about?
So if the way to think about it is this, if you already have permission to market to those clients, then you have permission to send them Ownwell. There's a big unsubscribe button in that Ownwell email. So if someone doesn't want to receive this, they can very easily opt out of it. That said, that unsubscribe rate is something like, it's like less than 0.5%. So probably won't happen, but yes, clients can unsubscribe easily. We also identify you and us in that email to
And
comply
if
with
they
them.
unsubscribe, you don't pay for them anymore, right?
Well, if they unsubscribe, we alert you to that, and then you can either delete them from your account so that you don't pay for them, or some people want to keep them in their Ownwell accounts so that they can observe what's happening with their mortgage and their
I
savings
see.
potential. So it's up to them.
All right. I think
Yeah,
that's it for questions. So, hey guys, thanks
awesome.
for taking the time. Dan, thanks for answering all the questions. And yeah, check out that link that you shared. If you guys want to, there's an opportunity to save a little bit of money there. Yeah, I think it's an amazing tool. And when I interviewed the guy from HomeBot, I want to say 8 years ago, and when he showed me what he was doing, I thought, my God, this is brilliant. And even then, he's like, we might come to Canada, but they've obviously since decided, no, it's not worth it. I mean, when the GDP of Texas is bigger than Canada, I can see why they don't care. Like, I love Canada, I love being a
Yeah,
Canadian, but they just don't care because the market's so much bigger.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. All
exactly. Well,
right.
thank you, Scott. Appreciate it,
Thanks,
and thanks
man.
to all of
Bye.
you. Great questions. Take care,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye for now.